You're not seeing things. We are back and we are live. It is Top Rope Talk. Took a little bit of an intermission for a little bit. Let me get this music going. Hang on one second. Let's see. Yeah, this is it. I gotta be my own DJ. All right. But yes, took a little break for a little bit, but coming back to you now, and I also wrote a couple of articles, which is up on our website, sidelinesports.net. So Top Rope Talk is a column now, also. But we decided to bring the show back because this weekend there's that thing that everyone's going to be watching. We're going to get with that in just a minute. But first, just want to let everybody know that you are tuned in live to the Sideline Sports Network. Give us a like, follow, share, subscription. We're on all the platforms. We're on YouTube, IG, TikTok, Facebook, X, DVTV, Stream TV. We're on internet radio. We're on in Atlanta, Georgia as well. Give us a like, follow, and support. We was just at the Super Bowl a few weeks ago, covering Super Bowl week in New Orleans. It was a great time. If you look through all of our socials and everything, all the pictures and interviews are up, and more is being loaded as well. But we're here to talk some professional wrestling, and I got a new friend of mine bringing in here. So you've seen Jacob Christner on here. You've seen the wrestling professor Billy Cruz. So now I'm bringing on our new guy here. I hope I say his last name right, Mr. Tyler Sumner. How you doing there, buddy?
Well, happy to tell you that you did say the last name right there, Jay. It is Sumner. I'm doing great. It's an honor to be here. I'm looking forward to doing this with you guys because it's the road to WrestleMania season. I mean, we're here. We're here. And if we've learned anything from last season, from last Road to WrestleMania, we know that Papa H likes to cook around this time of year.
Oh, yes, he does. Yes, indeed. And something about when he took over, it's back to leaving people intrigued and leaving people, like, man, what's going to happen next? I'm ready for that shock and awe, like back in the Attitude and the Ruthless Aggression days and everything. And that's not to say that in the last 10 years the product wasn't good. It's just it could have been so much better. That old guy is gone. It's time to have fun again,
Yeah, some would even say it's time to play the game.
Oh, indeed. Indeed it is. It's actually been coined I think officially it's been called the Paul Levesque era, which yes. I'm fine with, But indeed, but you know what? Let's go right into it because we had, a short discussion before the show, and I know you're just jumping at the bit. Remember earlier when I said there was that thing going on this weekend? Well, here's that thing. WWE Elimination Chamber Toronto, once again on the road to WrestleMania, on the road to Las Vegas, Nevada. We were there just last year covering the Super Bowl weekend. As a matter of fact, myself and another colleague, John Shear, we actually got credentialed and we went to WrestleMania kickoff at T-Mobile Arena. I've got the footage on my Facebook, So, gonna get right into it here. And this is Cody Rhodes' decision. Everyone's familiar about whenever they were on Friday Night SmackDown, and The Rock said, I want you to be my champion. My brother, I can open up all these opportunities for you. I can kick down doors for you. It'll be just me and you. I want your soul. So, I got to ask you, because I know you're chomping at the bit, will he turn down the final boss, or will we see a shocking heel turn? Tyler, take it away.
Well, before I take this away, this music's kind of getting me thinking here, right? This music's getting me thinking, so I don't know if we're playing the whole thinking music the whole time as we're going. I'm new to that. But see, I like to look at this because this is interesting because The Rock with the final boss, as he likes to say, there's a lot of what ifs, right, with the character. Right. There's a lot of what ifs with storylines that he's opened because when we all came back and he announced that he was going to be calling a certain someone out, we all thought Roman. We thought he was calling Roman out for the Ula Fala, everything. That since has changed, and he comes back, and it was one of the biggest confusing segments I've ever seen where, like, okay, he's kissing ass, but he's also going after the crowd. Right. And now he wants Cody Rhodes' soul. Well, if you know the show The Boys, Cody Rhodes is often referred to as everybody wants him
Mm.
as Homelander. How did Homelander turn into a bad guy? He sold his soul.
He sold his soul. He made
and
the
if you watched exactly, and if you watched the Royal Rumble match between him and Kevin Owens, at that end of the match, Cody went very heel tactics, nonstop aggression, right? But I want to point out another thing, because I don't think Cody goes heel until after Mania when he loses his title.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Huh.
Now, the thing that I think also is going to happen is there's a certain someone who returned at Survivor Series 2023 who has a favor in his back pocket.
He sure does.
That being, ladies and gentlemen, CM Punk having a favor in his back pocket. So what if, Jay, just bear with me for a second. Let me cook like I'm prime James Harden here with the Houston Rockets, okay?
All right, let's go.
Cody says no. Punk loses the chamber to Cena, right? Punk goes, hey, Rock, you still need your champion? Put me in the main event of WrestleMania and you can have my soul.
And now the WWE title at WrestleMania is a triple threat match.
That's one of four ways this could go. This could go maybe Cody doesn't turn heel, but we finally get the Cena heel turn.
I've seen a lot of that. I've seen a lot of that also. I've got a theory for you.
I hope it's not Austin.
And I know it. No, not Austin. And we're gonna get to this in just a moment. But what if Cody does? What if they surprise everyone and Cody does say yes? Now remember, Seth Rollins approached him and said, "Don't make me hate you after everything I've done for you." Right?
He did say that, and that did pique my interest.
Now, what if Cody says yes and makes the all-rare heel turn in the middle of a world title reign?
Right, well,
and then
go back to it, if I may, for a second here, Jay. Who was the other person to turn heel during the middle of his title reign? 2012. Hello, CM Punk.
CM Punk, exactly. You see where I'm going.
Who did Punk turn on?
Oh man,
The Rock.
It was The Rock. It sure was. Rock was the one that beat him for the title.
And who's back? And who wants souls?
The Rock. That's true. And
Long-term
incidentally,
storytelling, folks.
Yes. And incidentally, who did The Rock go on to lose that title to? John Cena.
John Cena.
Yes. Now, here's the thing. Cody Rhodes accepts the offer and goes heel. Seth wins the chamber and sets up a grudge match title match for WrestleMania.
See, well, I don't think Seth's going to win the chamber, and we'll get into that when we talk about the chamber later on here. But I think the safe option is Cody doesn't sell his soul until after Mania. If Cody says, if I lose my title at Mania, I'll give you my soul. Maybe Rock's road to Mania this year that he's on this year is making Cody's life a living hell up into Mania.
Interesting. Okay, then. Okay.
It's definitely, there's a lot of storylines to go with this. And it sucks part of, in a way, that Rock Roman isn't happening, because that's truly where we all, as wrestling fans, think that's where the Bloodline story ends.
Right.
Rock Roman. That's the definitive end goal. But now I feel like Roman's time is winding down.
Right.
But it's going to be interesting. I can't wait to see how it's going to be. What do you got next for us, Jay?
Yeah, and most definitely, and then I added you to the Wrestling Discussions group. Those of you all out there, find Wrestling Discussions on Facebook. We will have a live thread up when Elimination Chamber is on. So you can watch and then comment on the post and everything, talk a little trash, spit your theories and everything. It's a great time. So next, we're going right into the card here. We've got our unsanctioned match. Best friends finally collide. Zayn, Owens. But question, because Sami Zayn had not really been cleared for the match, and Adam Pearce said this is going to be unsanctioned. Chairs are as legal as headlocks, But is Sami Zayn making a huge mistake with this match? Because we know how ruthless a heel Owens can be.
Yeah, absolutely. We do know how ruthless a heel Owens could be. For those who actually don't know, if you go back on YouTube, it's on YouTube. Go look up and do yourself a favor of Kevin Steen in Ring of Honor.
Yes.
And then you'll see how ruthless of a heel he was. But I'm actually going to go with a bold prediction in here and say that this is match of the night. Unsanctioned, 2 Canadian boys in Canada. Can't get any bigger than that. Now, What else am I going to go with here? I don't think Sammy's making a huge mistake because I think there's a certain apex predator lurking in the background. I think there's a certain 3-letter word that Kevin Owens is going to be hit.
The 3 most dangerous.
But I do also think Kevin wins this match.
Okay.
Kevin wins this match because of the fact that Randy hits Kevin with an RKO, right? Zayn goes for the cover. Remember how Roman Reigns used to kick out when he first started as the heel?
Right.
A low blow. Kevin does that. Then Randy's going to punch him in the corner. Or KO is punching Randy in the corner. What has Sami Zayn been known to do by mistake lately?
The haluva kick on the unsuspecting, on the wrong guy.
And there you go. You have Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, Randy Orton, triple threat at Mania, or straight up Kevin Owens, Randy Orton at Mania. Because it is about time Randy comes back. We need him for Mania. This needs to be a straight up grudge match. Make it unsanctioned again. I would be okay with that. But yeah, I mean, Sammy is one of those guys who has been so good lately where he doesn't need this win because he had his big road to Mania last year, right? Kevin Owens needs a big win because he's been doing this great heel work. You saw it when they did it with Drew and Punk, how Drew's win was at SummerSlam and then Punk won the last 2. Have this be the start of a feud that feeds us, right? True. We need a Kevin Owens feud that's going to feed us. Yeah, the Cody Rhodes feud was okay, but I don't want this to be a one and done match with Sammy.
No, not at all. They have to have a trilogy.
They have to have a trilogy, and if Randy isn't cleared in time, hell, I say make the match at Mania a Hell in a Cell.
Hell in a Cell. I was thinking the same thing. Why not Hell in a Cell? We saw Rhodes and Rollins in the Hell in a Cell, and they tore it up, and Rhodes is fighting on one arm. So I'm sure that will do numbers. So you officially have it, folks. Tyler's pick says this is going to steal the night, and you've got Owens winning. I've got Owens winning the match as well. I think it's going to be a little uglier than that, though.
I think we get blood.
We definitely get blood. I think this is going to be. I don't know if this is going to. I wouldn't have this open tonight. I'd probably have the women's chamber open tonight and then go into this match. Not really a fan of having big match back to back like that because you want to spare the crowd energy. So you don't want to have unsanctioned match men's chamber. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You got to give the crowd a little time to breathe.
I think the way the card should be structured is you have the women's chamber, and then you have this match, and then you have the Tiffany and Trish match as a cooldown match, and then you go into Cody's segment, and then you have the men's chamber.
The men's chamber. Yep, that sounds about right there. But I got Kevin Owens winning this one. I think that at some point during the match, if it doesn't outright end the match, I think Sammy eats a cradle power driver through a ladder. It's going to be brutal.
I think he eats one even worse in a more brutal spot. I think he eats it on the apron.
Oh!
Because how did Kevin Owens first injure Sami Zayn, folks? This is a callback to 2014 NXT. Pop-up powerbomb right on the apron.
Yep, indeed. Huh? Okay then. Yeah, we'll definitely see how this goes. I'm great either way. You know.
Yeah.
Long as Owens wins the match.
I do think though, if you were to pick safely, this is the inevitable time where Randy Orton returns.
Will return? Yeah, I get it. Because not only that, but at the end, you know, because we'll be on March 1st. Then we'll have 6 weeks until Mania. You got to have time to build Randy back up.
Right.
The question is, does he return to Raw or SmackDown?
He's going straight after KO. He has to.
Okay.
Randy has to go straight after KO because I think now we're at SummerSlam. If Rock isn't around for SummerSlam and it's not Cody Rock at SummerSlam, give me heel Randy versus Cody, man. Or even better, if Cena's still the champion at SummerSlam, give me Cena versus Orton.
One more time, his greatest rival.
One more time.
Why not? Well, let's roll into our next matchup here. Incidentally, it is the tag team match. The women's tag team match, women's champion Tiffany Stratton and Trish Stratus going against Nia Jax and Candice LeRae. So will a win give Tiffy time momentum for WrestleMania 41 versus Charlotte Flair? Charlotte Flair, now me personally, I thought we were going to get a WrestleMania rubber match and Flair was going to pick Ripley. Instead, she picked who I think is a bit of a Charlotte clone and Tiffany Stratton. So what are your thoughts on this match?
Well, I think that, Jay, for the first time, I'm disagreeing with you tonight.
Okay.
I don't think Tiffany is a Charlotte clone. I think Tiffany is her own breed. I think Tiffany is much more smooth and clean in the ring than Charlotte. That's one of my takes. I'm known for that at school. We have these things called Tyler's Takes. I think Tiffany all around. I also think she's just much more of an enjoyable character than Charlotte Flair. Because Tiffany works as a face.
She does.
Charlotte doesn't work as a face.
She just works pretty much.
So yeah, I would agree with that, but I think this is an aspect where Tiffany's not losing until Mania if she loses. And believe it or not, I think Triple H has solidified that Tiffany is his next guy or girl.
Yeah.
Excuse me. So I think that if Tiffany loses to Charlotte, it's not at Mania, but it's the following pay-per-view.
Okay. Now, to be clear, when I said a Charlotte clone, what I meant by that is when I look at Tiffy wrestle, I see a younger Charlotte. The athleticism.
Oh, with that aspect,
fluidness.
Yes.
That's what I meant by that. Not like how they're a carbon copy of each other right now. They both are their own wrestlers. But when I look at Tiffy wrestle, I see Charlotte from 10 years ago.
Yes, I would agree with that statement right there. But I also think, like, Tiffy is just so over right now, too, where it's like you go into Mania and you have her lose to Charlotte, you bury her. Same thing that we had last year with LA Knight, for example. It's like, oh, everybody thought LA Knight was going to be buried after he lost to Roman. No, he won at Mania and was still all over. Also, real quick, I want to give a shout out to her because I knew her in elementary school and middle school. LA Knight girl, Brianna. If you know who that is, the girl who is known for meeting LA Knight, shout out to her. She is killing it. Super, super happy for her and all her success that she's had. But LA Knight is one of those guys where, like, at that time, you can't have him lose, right? Same thing, I think, with Tiffany because she's just going. And I don't want to sound corny here, but it is Tiffy time.
It is.
It is Tiffy time. I think Charlotte is losing this match at Mania, but we'll be doing a Mania predictions podcast. Absolutely. But I legitimately think that Tiffy and Trishy aren't losing in this. And we also talk about how this is Trish Stratus' backyard. This is Toronto.
Of course.
Trish Stratus is not losing in Toronto.
Well, to be clear, this is Trish's backyard, so this is going to be like her welcome back. And Nia Jax is still the brute force she is, and Candice LeRae is a rising star. But in my humble opinion, this match is more about Tiffany Stratton than anyone else. The match is more about Tiffany because she needs the momentum to go and take on Charlotte Flair, who may break her father's record for world title reigns.
Yeah, well, if there's one thing that is certain about Charlotte Flair versus her dad, it's that when Charlotte Flair retires, please don't come out of retirement 70 other times.
Thank you. Agree.
Okay? Like,
totally agree.
Please, for the love of God.
If you're going to walk away, stay away.
If you're going to walk away, because I want to say this real quick. One of the best moments in Mania history is the "I'm sorry, I love you."
Oh, yes, absolutely.
But now that just means Jack Diddley squat because of what happened. Yeah. Because Ric Flair wants to come out and collect welfare money. He's 76 years old.
Right.
We don't need a guy walking around with multiple AARP cards around here wrestling in a ring.
Yeah.
Like, it just doesn't need to happen.
He's 76 and he looks 86. Like, business aged him. It did. It did.
Flair came up in that era where it was like, you bladed and you just constantly, try to do. Don't get me wrong. Ric Flair is, not in my opinion, he's not top 10 all time, but I respect him for what he did for the business.
Of course.
Right? But I respect Charlotte too. It's just, she puts me to sleep because I can't get into her character. Do I think Rhea versus Charlotte would have been a better match to watch? Absolutely. They arguably have, actually, in my opinion, inarguably, have the greatest women's match of all time.
Oh, yeah.
From Mania 39.
Mania 39, yeah, absolutely. But I'm not mad at Stratton versus Charlotte because this is the first time ever, and this is the past versus the future.
Yep. And this is that's why I think Tiffany wins. But yeah, in this match, I don't see Tiffany and Trish losing. It's just because Tiffany is not losing until Mania if she loses.
Right. No, totally understandable. Well, we'll go into our next match here, and that is stay on the women's side, the women's elimination chamber match. So we got Morgan, Belair, Bliss, Bayley, Naomi, and Perez all fighting for a women's world title shot at WrestleMania 41. Two things: who prevails, and do we see a Cargill return?
Okay, so this is the biggest WWE put themselves in a corner matchup, if you will. Because I don't see Belair, and I'm going to break it down with all the names we got in here because of how this is going to go, right? Mm-hmm. And the logical explanations and everything like that, right? Bianca Belair's not winning because the Jade Cargill situation. Mm-hmm. Bayley's not winning because
personally, I think they'll face off at Mania, but go ahead.
Bayley doesn't need this. Bayley is fine. I think she's going to have a grudge match with Roxanne Perez at Mania. Alexa Bliss is going to be doing her own thing with the Wyatt Six. Naomi, this is where I'm going to cook. You asked me if we're going to see a Jade Cargill return. What happened at Survivor Series last year? Who took out Jade Cargill? Naomi did, because Naomi got jealous because Jade stole Bianca from Naomi.
It really... I was thinking about this, and I was like, you know what? We really never confirmed that Morgan and Rodriguez were the ones that attacked Cargill. They kept saying things like, if we were to do it, and halfway trying to steal responsibility, but I think it was an inside job. Just keep in mind, folks, they never confirmed that Morgan and Rodriguez did it.
They didn't. I think Naomi took out Jade, but Bianca planned it. Right?
Yep.
So that's where I think Jade is going to come back, and all hell's going to break loose. So if I'm picking the safe pick here, folks, looking at it, Liv Morgan is going to be the one that faced Rhea Ripley at Mania.
In the rematch.
Do I want this? No, but looking at all the odds here, it's the only logical reason.
It is. Because Naomi, like you said, Naomi and Belair have other business going on with Belair. With Cargill. Bayley had a WrestleMania moment last year. Perez not there yet. The only logical choice is Morgan. And not only that, but Morgan has been on the revenge tour on an absolute roll in this last year. The only thing you have her at Mania, going against one more time against Rhea Ripley. Shoot, why not? I don't think at this point the crowd will never get tired of Ripley versus Morgan.
No, they won't get tired of it, but I think it's in an aspect where this has to be the last one.
For a while.
Have it be the last one for a while. Because we don't want to see it for a while.
Yeah. And not only that, but think about this for a second. But there was one point in time the Judgment Day was the most decorated in WWE. They had the world title, they had the world women's title, they had the tag team belts, and the Judgment Day had fallen on some hard times. And I said they need gold back to solidify them. They just won the tag team titles, so why not? Why not have Liv Morgan win, become a double champion, help legitimize it?
Liv, now, I hate to tell you, Rhea's my favorite women's wrestler. She's not beating Mommy at Mania.
Hey, I'm just saying, put out there what could happen. Okay,
if it's in Vegas, I'm betting the house on it.
The house that
Rhea's winning.
Rhea retains. I mean, no, I'd be going for Ripley.
My mom and dad are watching this. I'm sorry, but I'm betting the house. Okay. Now, here's the other thing too. We've seen bits and pieces of teasers that the Judgment Day need a new member. Dom's been teasing it. Folks, somebody's AEW contract is up after Mania ends. Raw after Mania is in Las Vegas, Nevada. Dirty Dom has been teasing that there is a dark luchador out there. Ladies and gentlemen, your newest member of the Judgment Day. Newest members, dare I say. Malachi Black.
Why not?
Aleister Black comes back and takes full control of the Judgment Day. Who does he kick out first?
Finn Balor. He's done. He's done. They're going to boot him because if you think about it, it's time for a Finn face run again.
I'm going to say this right now. Send Finn down to NXT and just have him be in TNA. Finn's main roster run, Finn is just not it anymore. Once he got hurt, it just kept going down, down, down. It was like an Alaskan gold mine. Once you start digging, it just kept getting deeper and deeper and deeper. Sure, Finn Balor was the guy back in 2016, if he didn't get hurt.
Yeah.
But it's just, he's a comedy gimmick at this point. If you ask me, the Judgment Day's almost become insufferable now as of late. Dirty Dom's the only one I enjoy watching from that group. Mm-hmm. Which is why I think Malachi needs to save it.
Interesting enough. He'd be a perfect fit. Well.
And then we got some comments here real quick. Alpha Nexus says he doesn't hope Aleister Black doesn't join the Judgment Day. He hopes he doesn't join. See, Alpha, I hope so, and I hope he doesn't. The reason I hope he does is because he would be the leader. Right? The reason I hope he doesn't is because Aleister's known for carrying his gimmicks with him. He carried the eye gimmick with him from when he got it hurt by the Monday Night Messiah at the time, Seth, to AEW and had his face paint. So what if Malachi comes back the Raw after Mania and Black masses Seth right in the middle of the ring?
Interesting. Very interesting. Okay. It could go either way. It could go either way as far as that goes. I would like to see him take it over. I think the Judgment Day has always been a cool gimmick ever since Edge formed it and everything. And then when it hit its peak at WrestleMania 40, and they were the most decorated team. They were literally running WWE. It was insane, But I think it's about time for them to realize their potential again. Well, let's go on to what everyone's been waiting for, the main event, men's chamber match. We got Punk, we got Priest, we got McIntyre, we got Logan freaking Paul and Seth freaking Rollins. WWE title shot on the line at WrestleMania 41. Can Cena stun the chamber? And if not, who wins? Tyler, who you got?
All right, Jay. So I've been waiting to talk about this one all night because number one, we're gonna go run through this again, break down the participants. We got the 16-time world champion from West Newbury, Massachusetts, which is right down the road, actually, from where I am in Franklin, Massachusetts. We have John Cena. Alpha, I would completely agree with you, but it's missing one person. We have CM Punk, who, folks, we're going to get into it later. As we've already said, don't forget, Punk's got a little favor in his back pocket.
He does.
Damian Priest, which I think is the one that should not be in here.
Wow. Okay. Reason?
I think it should have been Fatu, man. I think it should have been Jacob Fatu because of the run he's been on. Frankly, he runs SmackDown. I don't care what anybody says. Yeah, Cody's the champion, but Fatu runs SmackDown. Every week, are you tuning to SmackDown to see what Cody's going to do? Or are you tuning to SmackDown to see what Jacob Fatu's got to say? Because me, honestly, I'm tuning in to see what Jacob Fatu's got to say. Because the promo, I've been following Jacob since he's been on the indies with Zilla and everything like that. But I think the promo that everybody realized when Jacob had it, and I quote, "Hey, Braun, you one tough SOB, but keep it 100. You ain't never been in the ring with nobody like me. Why? I'm America's most. Hell, I'm going to beat your ass from post to post, live on NBC from coast to coast." Right? Jacob just has that style to him. He's the son of the Tonga kid. Yeah. He hails from a great dynasty. He was trained by Umaga. Before Umaga passed away. May he rest in peace. Put him in the Hall of Fame already, damn.
Thank you.
I'm going to just say that Umaga belongs in the Hall of Fame. I don't care what anybody says. I think Fatu should have just been in it, man. Because you're telling me a maniac like Fatu in the chamber wouldn't go like psycho and break out of it before he even got picked?
Dude, you know what? Fatu's going to end up in the chamber. He is probably next year, but that's going to be must-see TV.
Like, you're telling me, like, looking at these names, you wouldn't want to see Jacob Fatu and Drew McIntyre locked up inside that cage?
That's going to be ill. That's going to be ill right there.
Like, what are we doing, Paul? And then we have Logan Paul in here, like, yeah, you need the definitive heel. And then you have Seth Rollins, which is the most interesting case. Now, I want to get into this part because this is where it's interesting. Jay, if you recall, CM Punk eliminated Seth Rollins from the Royal Rumble.
But he
didn't just eliminate Seth Rollins. No, Jay. He eliminated a certain OTC.
He sure did. He took them both out.
But then Seth double stomped Roman's head in. Folks, if you go back to Elimination Chamber 2023, Logan Paul went in when the door was open. You go back to Elimination Chamber 2024, Logan Paul went in when the door was AJ Styles went in to cost LA Knight when the door was open. Folks, I'm here to tell you the final three are going to be Seth Rollins, CM Punk, and John Cena. The door's going to be open because Damian Priest has just been eliminated. McIntyre gets out early. And all of a sudden, you hear the Samoan drums.
Yeah.
And the whole crowd's like, what's going on? What's going on? You look to the stage, and out comes Roman, and he's pissed.
Oh, yeah.
Roman is not just going to screw Seth. Roman is going to screw Punk.
And that's going to lead to a Cena win.
And that's going to lead to the Cena win.
Wow. And you know what?
Actually, no, I take that back. Punk is like incapacitated at this point. He still gets hit with a spear, but that's at the beginning, right? Because Seth is out. Then Seth turns around. Seth and Roman are going at it with each other. Punk rolls up Seth. Right? Get Seth out of there. Roman and Seth continue to fight. The final two, nostalgia of 2011, ladies and gentlemen.
Cena's going to get his
CM
revenge.
Punk and John Cena. Cena wins. Cena, Cody, WrestleMania. But wait, there's more. Remember I said, hey, Jay, come here real close a little bit.
Okay.
Remember I said a certain someone has a favor?
Sure does.
Paul Heyman's still out there, and Punk's gassed. Punk's like, and he goes, Paul, My favor is
Get me in the Mania.
Cena, Punk, Cody, WrestleMania 41 main event, night 2. Thank you very much.
Interesting take. Now, what I was leaning toward, well,
But that's also not how the show ends.
okay.
The show ends and Cody's standing in the ring with Cena. Cena comes out of the ring. Cena's walking. Lights go out. The lightning strikes the ring. Final boss lays out Cody
Oh,
for rejecting his offer in the middle
rejecting
of the
his offer. Yep. And you and well, obviously we can't get Rock and Cody at Mania, but you did allude to that it could be CM Punk that joins them instead.
It could, but also we could be doing Rock Cody at SummerSlam.
At SummerSlam, yeah, they have to.
Because don't forget, this is the first 2-night SummerSlam this year.
Yes, it is. That is true. That is true. It could be night 2. They have to get in the ring at some point. They just do. We have to see them two, and Rock Reigns has to happen at some point. I just hope they don't wait too late. Now, me personally, I think Rock Reigns will be Rock's final match of his career. But
I think it's going to be Ula Fala versus Career.
Interesting.
If Roman loses the Ula Fala, Roman retires. Roman calls it quits. If Rock loses, Rock leaves the family. Rock retires forever.
Yeah. That now, when does that happen?
42.
They got to start planting the seeds right now. They have to start planting the seeds right now. Because remember, we were supposed to get this main event last year.
And then the Cody Crybabies.
They sure did. They sure did. They started planting the seeds last year. Now,
it should have been this year.
Could have been this year very well. As a matter of fact, I initially thought that Punk was going to win the Royal Rumble and The Rock was going to face Cody for the WWE title at the Rumble and win it, and that would lead to a Rock. And then I thought Punk was going to choose Gunther and go for the World Heavyweight title, and then that will set up Rock Reigns for the WWE Championship. I mean, that's what I thought was going to happen, and I said this back in November. And of course, everything went all by the wayside, but it's all good. Actually, I think that, and it very well may go the way that you said it. But I got Punk favored to win this chamber. Him versus Cody seems like a destiny thing. It was because of Cody that Punk returned, to a certain degree. I think it's written on the wall for a Punk Cody at WrestleMania. But it very well could be, Cena shocking everyone, and it be Punk and Cena and Rhodes at WrestleMania.
I think it's Cena, man. I think it's Cena. It has to be Cena.
In one last run. Huh. Okay.
Have Cena win 17.
Oh, and by the way, of course, I have the men's chamber as my match of the night. A stacked chamber like this, even with Logan Paul. Now, there's one thing I will say. I think we're going to see, because Logan Paul's known for some stunts during some matches. Now, the spot of the night might belong to Logan Paul. As far as that match goes, the spot of the night might belong to Logan Paul. I don't know if he eats it or if he's on the giving end, but I think Logan Paul is going to have the spot of the match and probably the night.
I think the spot of that match is Priest giving a South of Heavens to Logan Paul off the chamber pod.
Ooh, that would be yeah. And you know what? That would fall on the spot of the night. He'd just be on the receiving end.
Yep.
All right, okay, so our last segment, kind of our buy or sell segment, it's called Finish or DQ. So, Finish or DQ. WWE Intercontinental Champion Braun Breaker should have had a title defense at this event. Now think about it. He's gotten into it with Finn lately. He's gotten into it with AJ Styles lately. Now we still have Friday night. We still have Friday Night SmackDown coming up. So anything could happen. It could be. They could add it to the card. But as of right now, he should have had a title defense at Elimination Chamber.
DQ.
Okay. Reason?
AJ Breaker WrestleMania 41. Build it.
I like it. I like it. But he could have faced Finn in Elimination Chamber.
If he would have faced anyone at Chamber, it should have been Penta.
Okay. But you want to say save him for WrestleMania.
Yep.
Okay. And have another banger. Now they got some shoes to fill because the one last year, was one of the best matches on the card. But this one, okay. So you're saying that he just give him the night off and get him ready for WrestleMania right now.
Yep.
All right.
Let AJ rest still, because that was a nasty injury.
Yes, it was indeed. Well, that is our show for this evening. We're at about 41 minutes. Thank you everybody for tuning in. Shout out to Alpha Nexus 230 in the comments. Thanks a lot, Tyler. We will be doing this again. What I'm thinking is every now and again maybe a Raw or SmackDown. Definitely PLEs and AEW as well. And any other.
See, I don't watch AEW.
Oh, you don't?
I'm strictly. I watched AEW in 2019 to Brawl Out in 2021.
And then you stopped?
And then I stopped because then it got terrible.
Oh, okay. Any chance you give it a chance again?
I've tried. I can't.
Ever since Triple H came back because see, people were getting into AEW because the old man was still hanging around, right? And then when he went away and Triple H took over.
The reason I jumped ship to AEW for a little bit when it happened, it was just because 2019 was god awful for WWE. Like, it was hard to watch. I mean, Goldberg Undertaker was a thing.
It was.
The Fiend getting squashed by Seth Rollins was a thing.
Yep.
So it's just, I'm being legitimately, I'd shut it down. I'm not watching AEW ever again. But we could definitely talk about NXT too, because with the NXT NA.
Right. Absolutely. We'll definitely bring this on the air. But yes, we will be doing this again, ladies and gentlemen. So thank you all for tuning in. And for Tyler Sumner, this is Denzel Snipes, and we will see you all later.